This is Breakout, one of my favorite Atari 2600 games. Today, we will be recreating this using Gdevelop. This will also be my first time making an Android game. So please bear with me if I don't get porting it to Android right. The point of the game is to break all the blocks up here. While keeping the ball in the air with the paddle. This will be another paddle game. I've made 2 other paddle games in the past. I made 2-player Pong, and I made the paddle game from scratch in Gdevelop. This will be my 3rd paddle game. So to create this game, like always, we're going to create a new game file. So file, create new. I'm going to choose the folder. I already have Breakout in my tutorials folder. You can put it anywhere on your computer as long as it's accessible. I'm going to call this Breakout. Oh. I'm going to select the folder. Go find my file. And there we go. Now create an empty game like we usually do. First thing you want to do is create scene. We're going to start with the main game and we're going to actually prototype it. If you're unfamiliar with what prototyping is, you're making it's like writing. You're creating a rough draft for your game. It's not going to look perfect. It's not going to be perfect. That prototype will become your finished game. What you do is you make the prototype and do what I like to do, build on it and refine it. So we're gonna rename the scene something like main game. You can name it whatever you want. Right away we're gonna set 1 global variable. Because as usual, like a lot of my games, there's only going to be 1 level. So global variable, add, this will be a score variable. I like to give them unique names. I like to give variables unique names, but for the sake of this video and for the sake of keeping it simple, we're going to name it score. I'm going to set it to 0. Hit apply. Now double click your scene. Now if you've noticed Breakout is usually 1 color. It's usually black. So I am going to make the background since this is our remake, you can make it any color you want, like red or green, or edit around and hit OK. I'm going to make it this color. I'm also going to, like always, go to properties. We want to name our project, so I'm going to call this Breakout Clone. We can name it something else. The version's okay. I'm going to uncheck this like always. Hit apply. We can, if you want a longer game, you can change the resolution, but I'm going to keep it this way. I think a too big a resolution is going to ruin the game. So hit apply. Alright, we can close out of that. I'm going to hit play, see what it looks like. There we go. Alright, this is what we have to work with. Now, in Breakout, there are 6 rows of blocks. So for this game, I'm gonna make a random amount. So I'm gonna color these. I'm gonna create a new object, a new sprite. I'm gonna call it brick 1. They don't like spaces when naming stuff, so underscore 1. Add animation. I'm gonna color it. Since this is our remake, we can color it whatever you like. Just don't make it the background color. So I'm gonna color it this. Hit apply. I'm gonna create one more block. I'm gonna create a couple more blocks. So I'm gonna color this one green. Brick 2. I forgot they don't like spaces, so brick 2. I'm gonna color this one blue. Save. Brick 3. Ah, shoot. Brick 3. So for sake of this video, I'm gonna make one more. Brick 4. I'm gonna make this one purple or whatever that color is. I'm really terrible at colors. So apply. Now I'm also going to make one more, but this one's not gonna be brick. I'm gonna name this one player. Hit apply. I'm gonna add an animation. I'll color the player black. Hit apply. Now this is already a lot to work with. We're going to make the border and the game over zone like kind of similar to the paddle game. So I'm gonna color this one gray or white. No, I'm gonna color it white. This will be the border. And the next one will be game over. So I'm gonna color this one dark red. That color. So I'm gonna name this one game over. Hit apply. Now we're gonna start setting it up similar to the protect the ball. We're gonna put the game over on the bottom, and we're gonna build our scene. Now this we don't want visible. I at least don't want it visible. This, however, I do want a little visible, because if you look at the breakout scene, there's this arch all the way around. So we're gonna try to replicate that. At least I am. Make that. And there we go. We have our border. It's looking really nice. We're gonna add 2 more sprites. Not cancel. Delete. I'm gonna add 2 more sprites. Okay. They're going to be, this time I'm gonna cheat a little. Add animation. Unless I can't do it. There used to be a shop, and it would have what I need, but I'm gonna call this left arrow edit. Okay, I named that wrong. Left arrow edit. We're gonna make this an arrow pointing left. I think that's good. Color it black. Save. I'm gonna edit the collision marks. You can do that on this. So I'm gonna zoom in all the way. Use a custom mask. And I'm gonna put it all the way around because we have too big of an area. And there we go. Hit apply, and we have an arrow which we will put right here. Now we're also going to do this. I messed up again. And we're going to we're gonna make this one right. Arrow. This time I'm gonna add, and I'm gonna look for, we're going to edit, and we're gonna flip it. Hit save. So now we have our right arrow. I'm gonna do the same thing, edit the collision marks, custom mask, this is to make it easier on the player. Hit close and apply. Okay, I messed up somewhere. Alright, so let's take a look at how this looks. Okay, I'm gonna flip this one around. You can do that. You might have to because I messed up. So hit play, and we have our two arrows. We can change the size later. Now I'm gonna start building the bricks. So this will be layer 1. I'm gonna copy and paste it, and I'm gonna build a line. They don't have to be touching. You can make them not touch. Now some people are gonna get nitpicky though and say I should be using the grid, show grid. But to be honest, it looks kind of weird. You can use the grid if you want. I don't like the grid though. So that's level 1. That's area 1. We need to do this with all the other bricks. You can make them as big as you want. I'm gonna make sure they're at least close to the same size. Control C. I'm gonna copy it and I'm gonna paste it. Now you can get fun with this. You can make pictures. You don't have to use just these. I'm gonna make this a tad bit longer. Paste. As you can tell, I'm not doing a good job, but at least it's something. Now, I'm gonna make one thing clear though, I'm not power up player. We could add a hack. I'm gonna let you decide if you want to add difficulties and more levels. If I do more levels, it's going to be through a selectable menu because I don't know how to reset variables yet. If you know, please comment down below if you know how. Now this one I'm gonna one. Since this is your remake, you can virtually have fun with this in level design. But to speed things up, yeah, I suck at this. As you can see, they're not symmetrical. Someone is probably gonna say if you would use grid, but this is my remake. This is my version of Breakout. There we go. And last brick. Now we're going to be doing a lot of copy and pasting, but for the sake of this video, I'm not going to care about making the perfect level. Like I said, this is a prototype. It doesn't have to look perfect. And we have a level. Okay, now time to add our player. Now I'm gonna add two behaviors to our player. The first one I'm going to use is called the top-down movement. I'm gonna turn off rotate, default controls. I'm gonna turn off that. Hit apply. I'm also going to add one more behavior. I'm going to search new behavior and look for Screenwrap. There's going to be a way to where is it? Screenwrap. There it is. Hit install. Now hit apply. No, just because I installed it doesn't mean I added it, so I gotta add it. So there it is. Hit apply. Now when we play our I just added all that to our border. Our player is gonna be this guy. Let me see if that fixed it. Yes, that fixed it. But like I said, I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna add this, turn off all this. We don't need that. We're gonna be programming our own. And I'm also going to be making, I'm gonna be adding the Screenwrap. The cool thing about Screenwrap, okay, I will show you when we do it. So let's start a new event. Now, key pressed, one key press, but this isn't going to be ours, so mouse touching left, we want it to simulate left. So we're going to do that again this time. Copy, paste, but we want this to be the right arrow, and we want it to simulate right. Hit OK. Now my computer's touchscreen, so I'm gonna test this. There we go, we have, and it's going to wrap around our screen. I'm gonna make the screen a little bigger. Alright, sorry that the video cut out on me. That was my fault. I hit the wrong button, which exited my screen recorder. But while it was saving, I did fix the arrow key. The problem is the whole arrow area has to be on, which tells me the collisions isn't right, so I'm gonna have to go in there and remask it. You're probably gonna want this too if you did what I did. It's my fault, I'm sorry. So let's remask it to our liking and close, hit apply. Now we wanna flip it, press play, and we have a touchscreen control. So this is the code. I'm gonna go back, and now I also accidentally deleted Screenwrap, and you'll see why. I'm gonna do one more thing. I'm going to check mark vertical. I'm gonna get rid of vertical, so it will only wrap around the sides of the screen. So if I go like this, it will come up here on the other side of the screen. This is my first time using something like this, so very good. That's good. So I'm gonna, to make this easier on me, I also added at the beginning of the screen, you're gonna want to type in D/activate. So D/activate, moving the mouse cursor with touches. So you're gonna, it's default, it's enabled, but you're gonna want to say no. Hit OK, and there you have it. Now we want to hit group and group all this. So I'm gonna call this player movement. Remember, this is a mobile game, so people are gonna be using their arrows. I'm gonna change all the art in the final product, so don't worry. Now I just realized something. We have no ball. And last time I checked, oh, sorry about that. I had to look up a tutorial also. There is a ball in Breakout right here, and it's usually colored red, but for the sake of this tutorial we can color it whatever we want. So add, edit, I'm gonna color it, I'll color it this color. Save, hit apply. We're also going to, again like my previous ones that involve a ball and a paddle, we're going to install bounce. Hit install and then add it. Hit apply. Now we now have a ball for our game. But the problem is, so we're gonna put it here or anywhere on the screen. So Gdevelop community, or their example for making a game like this, they have it start on top. So I'm going to create a new group. I'm going to call it ball. And I'm going to add, I'm going to check one thing. I'm going to experiment, always experiment. Now I'm going to say at the beginning of the scene, we want the ball to have the position player dot x. This is an experiment. You don't have to do this unless it works. Then I'll just add it to my game. Player dot y. Hit apply. I'm going to press play. And that did nothing, so I'm gonna delete that. Ignore this. So we have our ball. Now this is going to do a lot. We are going to do a lot of collisions. So first off, I'm gonna do one thing. Rename this ball. Hit plus. Hit apply. Now I'm going to say when the ball is in collision, we're going to have it do three things. When ball is in collision with brick 1, we're going to have it bounce off of brick 1. I'm going to add a condition at the beginning of the scene. We're going to add a force angle to the ball. So force angle, I'm gonna say negative 300, see what that does, and 200 pixels. Make it a permanent force and hit OK. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna see. Alright, I'm gonna try 400. Right now I'm just seeing what looks good. Now it didn't do anything to the ball, so we're going to say delete ball. Delete that. So when it goes up to that corner, it will bounce off and delete it. Now we're also going to add a new event. When ball, copy this. When ball is in collision with the border, well, we're going to need that later, but when ball is in collision with the border, we're going to have it bounce off the border. Press play. Now you have a problem. It's not going to bounce off the player. So when ball is in collision with the player, we're going to have the ball bounce off the border. Nope, not the border, the player. Now, if you watch, we have a ball that goes through, deletes that, but for some reason, okay, that's why. Now, we're gonna have a ball that bounces off the player. But what good is this game if you do not have, if it won't do it for anything else? So we're going to do the same. We're going to copy and paste this. I'm going to put it here. So I'm going to do brick 2. When it is in collision with brick 2. And I'm going to do this again. And do it for the rest. I'm going to get rid of this. So brick 3. Okay, and one more time, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, we have 4 bricks. Now, okay. We now have a working Android game. But when it hits game over, it's not going to do anything. So we want to hit a new screen, rename game over. So now copy this. When the ball is in collision with game over, change the scene to game over. So now if we miss the ball, it will change to game over. Now you're probably wondering, why do we have a global variable? Because we made a global variable called score. So we are going to add an action and go to other actions, hit variables, go into global variables, value of a global variable score equals, plus 1. We're going to do that to per brick. So that's going to do it, but we can't see the score. And we also have another problem. I'm going to make one change. I'm going to put this in the middle of the screen. There we go. Now it's a little more playable. I guess in the original game it doesn't screen wrap. And I just lost the game. So we're going to add one more thing. I'm going to add a score, so I'm going to label this score. I'm going to add a new font. You can download any font you want. I'm going to use, I found one from Super Mario Bros. 2, so there we go. So we got this score. I'm going to put it right there. But, I'm also going to change the Z layer. The Z layer tells you which order of it is. So right now it's at layer 16, which is the highest layer so far. So I'm going to put it to 0 so the ball doesn't go through it. Hit OK. Now get out of that. but the score doesn't do anything. So add a new event. I'm gonna say modify text equals to variable, text of a global variable, score, hit apply. Now if you want to add something, say score, you hit quotation mark, score, whatever else. I'm going to add a colon and a space, quotation mark, space, and then plus. Hit OK. Now when we play it, I just lost because apparently I don't know how computers work. So but to make matters better, it works. We now have a very close to being complete. Now I'm gonna change the speed of the player though. So behaviors, I'm gonna go where's the acceleration? I'm gonna put at 600 and see what that does. There we go. Now it's faster and a little more smooth. And we have a working game. Okay, so there's some stuff I want to add. So I'm going to add something here, play sound. But you might not have sound for you, so I'm gonna go and show you how to get sound. I'm gonna go to sfxr.me. Link will be in the description. So I want a hit. This generates 8-bit sound, so I'm gonna hit that. Save that one. You go to this link, right click, hit save link as. I already have a library of sounds from the site, so I'm gonna save it to a file. I'm gonna call it hit. I already have 3 hit sounds, so I'm gonna call this hit 3. It's gonna download. Now I am going to type in play sound. I'm gonna add a new sound. I'm gonna go to my sound file. I'm gonna find it. We do not want it to repeat. I'm gonna set it to 50 volume. And I'm gonna add that to all of the bricks. For the when it hits the player, I'm gonna add a sound, so play sound. I'm gonna use another hit, so I'm gonna hit 2, again 50 for the volume. Do not set it to repeat. So let's press play. Our game now has sound, but it has no sound. So the next thing we're going to do, this is what we call a basic prototype. This is what you call a prototype. I'm gonna try to make it look a little nicer. As you can tell, it's a lost cause. but we can change some of the stuff about this game. So I'm gonna open up a photo editor. I have a sprite, and I'm gonna create a new file. We're gonna keep it 64 by 64. I'm gonna zoom in, and I am going to create a square. Now I want to color it. They have multiple presets. I want this to be the Atari 2600. Hit load, and look at all the colors. I'm gonna color this yellow. And save it. Go to your game file. So I'm gonna go save it to my desktop though. I'm gonna call this player. You can make the paddle look whatever you want. I'm gonna hit OK. Now I'm going to take my player sprite, add a new sprite, and I didn't save it right, so I'm going to save it again. Hopefully you do this right the first time, unlike me. I'm going to save it as a PNG because it will be transparent. Hit OK. Now it is. I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna edit the collision. Add custom. Zoom in because for some reason. And there it is. And hit close. Hit apply. And we now have a custom paddle. Now you can add multiple difficulties. I think in the final release I'm gonna add more difficulty. I'm gonna add more level designs, make a selectable level menu. Now the ball you can keep as is, but I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna break cat law. I'm gonna change it to this. Because I got a friend who might play this if I finish it. So add. Where did it not save? Oh, I'm gonna say keep. Alright, I did not want to do that. I'm gonna hit add, hit OK, delete this, hit apply. I'm gonna make it a tad bit bigger so people can see it. And we have an Android game. So like I said, my computer's touchscreen, so this is our version of Breakout. You can make it look however you want. And okay, now we have another thing. You might want music. So I'm gonna go open up a new tab. This site is called beepbox.co. It's pretty much a sound editor. Since this is technically an 8-bit game, I'm gonna choose Chipwave. You're gonna want it set to custom. You're gonna want to make some kind of music. So when you're done, I'm gonna extend it. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Spread that all the way out, and then hit File, Export Song, name it whatever you want. I'm gonna call it Breakout Theme. We're gonna have it repeat to 4 to get a longer song. Export. It takes a while to export, but here it is. Now I'm going to add a new group. I'm gonna rename it whatever, I'm gonna call it music. At the beginning of the scene, hit OK, and then we want it, type in play, and then play music file. Add wherever you downloaded it or you have it, hit OK, and then hit 50 and type in 50. We want it to repeat. It's a good idea to have your music repeat, not your sound effects though. Hit OK, and I suck at this game. So now you guys get the gist of what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna color this black. Hit OK. I'm gonna add a text. Game over. Color it white. Similar to the Pong game, I'm gonna title it Game Over Title. Hit apply. I want it to be bigger though, so I'm gonna up the size, hit apply, and there we go. So when we play our main game, now, there's one thing that I don't like already, which is I'm gonna do a little bit of experimenting. So what's the top one? The yellow. So I'm gonna add an action ball. I'm gonna see if I can change the speed. I'm gonna say -100. Speed, I'm gonna go 600 this time. So let's test this out. A lot of gaming is testing. Now let's see what happens when we hit the yellow. This is gonna take a while. And I didn't even add, but for the sake of this, I'm just gonna get rid of that. So for the sake of that, I'm just gonna get rid of it. Now I'm gonna create the menu. Rename it menu. Move up. Move up. So it's the first one. Now I'm gonna color this one purple. Okay. I'm gonna add text, color it black. I'm gonna call this Break the Blocks Mobile. Use the same font. I use this font a lot if you haven't noticed. I'm gonna add a new event group. I'm gonna add music. Again at the beginning of the screen. I'm gonna play music. Play a music file. Yes, I'm gonna loop it. And 50. Yeah, okay. Now the buttons. The buttons will be like our main game buttons, where you need to tap it in order to play it. So let's make our menu. So this time I'm gonna add a sprite, rename it play button. I'm gonna color it red. I'm gonna add another animation. I'm gonna call this one play 1, and I'm gonna call this one play 2. I'm gonna edit, color this one, that one. Some people tell me I should use lighter colors, so for some reason. Now that might be too big. So there we go. Now add a title, play title. I'm just gonna call it play. Hit apply. Okay, I kind of hate the update they made to this engine. They recently updated the engine. So add a new event. When mouse is touching play button, add an action, change animation by name to, okay, we're gonna say play button play 2, hit OK. I think we need to add the quotation marks. Don't forget to add the quotation marks. Now indent this one. Mouse, when the mouse button is pressed and held left. No wait, since alright, so since this is a mobile game, we kind of don't need this. Well, I'm gonna leave it just in case. Again, I'm gonna experiment. So I'm gonna change scene to the main game. So when the cursor is touching this, it will play the game. And now I'm gonna title this group play. So we don't really need the mouse down or held. That's for PC port. I might make a PC port for this. So add a new group. Bring it down here. I'm gonna call it quit. I'm going to oh shoot. I'm gonna copy this and paste it, rename it quit. Bring it down to here. Try to make it the same. I'm gonna add a new title. So quit. Hit apply. Alright. Drag it onto your plate, to your quit button. Try to make it centered. I'm gonna copy and paste this so the cursor is touched. Hit quit. On the quit button, we're going to quit the game. Hit OK. Press play, and we now have a working game. Here's the full game. Now, there's one more thing though. You might say, which is a winning screen. So what we're going to do is count how many squares. So 4 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So there are 24 squares. So new group, I'm gonna call this win. So add a condition, go to variables, global variable, value of a global variable, score equals to, our number was 24, so we want to reset. So variable, global variable, we want to equal 0, set to 0, and then we want it to go back. So change scene to main game. This is an experiment. I'm not sure if this is going to work. So let's play it and find out. Alright. I am going to try again. So when the game is won, we might not need the you win screen. Alright, so since I'm terrible at this game, I'm just gonna change it to you win. And now let's play a you win game. Now let's add a text. You win. I'm gonna color this yellow because it's color of Batman. Hit apply. I'm gonna edit it and I'm gonna up it. I'm gonna rename this title to make it easier. And there you have it. Now black. Hit OK. Now that bat sprite from earlier, I'm going to add it to make this look a little better. Hit apply. Hold shift and resize it. And there you have it. A complete breakout game that is playable. I'm also gonna change this. Now this is where you can take your prototype to the next level. I'm gonna move these over here And again, I'm going to add the bat symbol since this is Batman themed. Now, I am going to take this game, if I am going to release it, I don't have the rights to Batman, so I probably wouldn't put this game out. So next, the last thing we're going to do, save and export it to Android. Package for Android. This could take a while. For some reason. So I'm just gonna end it here and then come back and show you the full game.